I am joined. That face. I am joined on the UK Drum Show official podcast by Hearne from Haken. Yeah. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thank you, mate. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm good. I am so excited that you are going to be playing the main stage on Sunday the 29th at 10 o'clock in the morning, Ray. It's going to be
Yes,
alarm clock central.
the Hangover set.
Nobody is going to be able to have a hangover, and if they have got one, then it will just blow the cobwebs off them. I think you doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you that don't know, Ray is in the driving seat for inspiring the next generation of progressive rock and progressive metal drummers. He is in prog metal band Haken, as I said a moment ago, and as I said as well, Sunday the 29th of September, 10 a.m. He's going to be gracing the main stage, and I'm just so excited. But Ray, to break the ice, before we talk about all things drums and UK Drum Show and Haken, I thought we could play a bit of a game called This or That, where basically, Ray, you just have to choose one of the two things, but you don't have to give an explanation as to why you prefer that thing. Would you like to play?
Let's do it. I'm
Okay.
pumped.
Okay. Which has the best drum intro? Painkiller by Judas Priest or Honor Thy Father by Dream Theater?
I'm going to go with Honor Thy Father because it's the only one out of the two songs that I know. But
No!
also, you know what? I probably have heard Painkiller. I'm just really bad with song titles and I'm not really a Judas Priest aficionado.
Okay. Okay. Is it...
Although I do love the Judas Priest songs that I do know.
Yeah.
They're great.
Okay. That's cool. Okay.
But yeah, Honor Thy Father is a song that I used to maybe spend a few minutes every day when I was a kid, like trying to replicate. I was just obsessed with it. But I never really bothered to get far enough to like play it 100% accurately because I was maybe a bit too lazy. I just liked the bits that I knew how to play and just didn't even bother working out the bits that I didn't know how to play because Portnoy's just, he's blowing my mind too much.
He's crazy. Okay, your next question. Playing in Europe or playing in America? Where do you have the best time?
I have a great time everywhere. I don't really want to say one or the other. I don't know. I think the crowd energy in general might be better actually in the US.
Oh,
But I have a feeling that people in the US think that the vibe in Europe is better. There's this kind of grass is greener
sure.
opinion from fan bases across on either side of the pond. But I love Europe as well because each day you're in a different country with a different culture, whereas in the US, although there are obviously lots of different cultures within, you're still kind of always in the same country. So I like the more sort of, I guess, colourful experience in Europe as well.
Okay. For those familiar with Haken's work, which of the two albums do you prefer, Affinity or Fauna?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Yeah, you've chosen questions that I'm going to suck at answering definitively.
You got
I
to
love them
choose.
both. I really do love all of Haken's output equally. I wouldn't be able to like assign an order to which one I prefer. You know, at the moment I probably prefer Fauna more because it's more current. And it's, you know, I kind of view Haken's albums as being better with each release, but I've obviously got a special place for Affinity in my heart too because it's a really, really proud of that album.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, penultimate question. The world before the internet or the world after the internet? Which do you prefer?
I guess after. I mean,
Okay,
yeah, there's pros and cons of each.
okay.
I hate these kind of questions.
Okay, it's all right because there's only one more. Okay, playing a festival or playing an indoor venue. Which of those two do you prefer?
Again, like it can really depend. Some big festival lineups can be like really stressful and almost not worth it when you've gone through the hassle of the before and after, let alone the show itself. But other outdoor like big festival events can be an amazing experience. So it's such a lottery as to what you get. And that can be said for like your own indoor venue show too. I like them both equally. I'd say, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with indoor venue because I have
Okay,
to give some
you have
more
to give one.
obvious answers.
You could be a politician with these responses. Um, okay. We're going to talk all about UK Drum Show in just a couple of moments, and how exciting it is that you're that recognised now, Ray, within the community. That you're going to be playing the main stage, which is phenomenal. But what has been in your career so far? And I've asked you this in previous interviews, but I want to see if your answer has changed. What has been the biggest Spinal Tap moment of your career so far? What has been, the thing that has happened that you've gone, okay, well, that could have only actually happened in Spinal Tap?
I mean, we literally reenacted a Spinal Tap moment. Was it last year on Cruise to the Edge? Did you know
Go,
about this?
tell me.
We were doing a cover set on Cruise to the Edge. For those who don't know, it's basically a festival that happens on a boat in the Caribbean. And yeah, as part of the set, we decided to do a couple of songs from Spinal Tap. So we did Big Bottom, and we did. Oh, it escapes me now. Why can't I think of the most famous song from the film?
Tonight I'm going to rock you.
That's not the most famous song from the film.
Do you not think?
Stonehenge.
Oh, Stonehenge. Okay.
We did Stonehenge.
You had a actual Stonehenge come down, didn't you?
Yeah. Charlie painstakingly made this beautiful replica of the mini Stonehenge that features in the film. And we ended up, I think, giving it away as part of a raffle or some kind of charity auction. Yeah, probably the most Spinal Tap moment of that entire thing. Actually, there were a couple of things. First of all, the crew were just so pumped to rig a mini Stonehenge to be lowered down from like lower down to the stage. They were so excited about it because it's like a one-off ever thing that probably will never happen in your career to get the opportunity. It was just such a ridiculous thing to have to do. And secondly, the drummer Jimmy Keegan, incredible drummer who's drummed for all manner of different people, but in the prog circle, I guess people would know him for Spock's Beard. He took it upon himself to jump on stage in the famous bit where the little people come and start dancing. Because he's quite a short man, he decided to just raid the stage and start dancing, which was completely unrehearsed, and we lost our minds basically when he came on. So that was great.
I think so far, man, that's got to be one of the best Spinal Tap stories of the UK Drum Show official podcast, man. I think it's up there. Talking of this amazing weekend of drums that I know through speaking to you that you are incredibly excited about. How does it feel to be this recognised within the drumming community, Ray, that you have been asked to play the main stage along with some of the best players in the world?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, to be honest. It does feel a bit like, I'm filling in for someone else, like someone's pulled out last minute or something, like I'm just sort of filling a gap, because it doesn't feel right to be on like the same bill as, Keith Carlock, Annika Niles, Chris Coleman, just absolute monsters of drumming. And then monsters in my own kind of genre as well. You've got Jay, Post Stones. I think Ali Richardson is going on after me. So that's like, yeah, it's crazy. It is totally surreal. It feels like I'm living in a dream world.
I mean, tell me back to the beginning of your drumming career. Obviously, you're doing this event. It's one of the most recognized drumming events in the world within the drumming community. Take me back to the beginning of your career within drums. Where did it start? What turned you on to drums?
It was a bit of an accident. I signed up for lessons when I started secondary school around 11 or 12. And there was a big long waiting list, so I just kind of forgot about it. And then one day a note came in the register to come along to a drum lesson. So I went along and was honestly just hooked from the first second. I think I was helped by the fact that I already played a couple of other instruments. So I
Mhm.
had like a good sense of rhythm. I could read music, um, and I guess I'm kind of naturally well enough coordinated to hold down some sort of basic things to begin with.
Yes, you
But
are.
yeah, it. Well, I don't know. I mean, at that time anyway, I was really hooked, and I was very fortunate as well to have super supportive parents who I nagged and nagged to get me a drum kit, and I didn't have to sort of scrape by for that long without
Mhm.
my own kit. Which, having taught so many kids at that stage in their drumming career, essentially over the years, I've taught maybe only 10 or 15% of the kids I ever teach are in that position where they've actually got access to an acoustic drum kit. Some of them also get an
Yes.
electric kit. It doesn't really
Mhm.
provide the same experience in most cases,
No.
but vast majority of them don't even have an instrument. So
Mm.
I was just fortunate to have an instrument to begin with. That made the big difference for me, really.
I mean, you talk about the fact that the thing about you, Ray, is outside of this world, you and I are friends. But one thing that really always crops up for me is just how unbelievably humble you are. I have seen you play. Your limb independence is like I have never seen a player like you. In my opinion, you're one of the best living drummers on the planet at the moment, and I can't wait to see what you bring to the main stage at the UK Drum Show. But what do you think you're going to bring to the table over that weekend that might be different to what other drummers are doing? And to give you some examples, Nick Collins said he was going to try and make his kind of his bit quite interactive, getting the audience involved. Jay said he was going to be breaking down time signatures. Chris Coleman said it will just be a miracle if he turns up. So, what do you think you're going to be bringing to the table that might be different to other players?
I'm going to be bringing lots of silly faces for a start. That, yeah, and look out for the silly faces because they'll get sillier the longer the show goes on. And I don't know. I guess I'll be looking for like a good energy from the crowd as well because I'm not that used to doing this sort of thing. My main thing as a drummer has always been Haken playing to
Mhm.
Haken fans. I don't
Yeah.
really have a wealth of experience as a performer on the drums, at least, playing outside of that sphere. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping everything crossed that the crowd are going to be behind me and interested in what I've got to share, and
Mhm.
I'm I'm just grateful to be able to perform at this thing because it's, as I said, like complete dreamland for me.
I think I reckon questions from the audience will be definitely time signature related,
Hmm.
especially for fans of your music. Um, for those that don't know, your tune "Kneel by Mouth" has been deemed this generation's dance of eternity. I mean, that is an incredible crown for you guys to kind of have on your heads as a band. Is breaking down time signatures and kind of dissecting your work something you would be open to doing with the audience if they should ask about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I do that kind of thing all the time with my students, and I do it in more group settings, especially when I'm on tour. I take like classes at each city, and we break stuff like that down. So that's something I'm definitely considering doing, making it a sort of, I don't know, clinicy masterclassy thing for those who want it. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. I know that you're a fan of the UK Drum Show anyway. I know that it's kind of been it's captured your attention for the last few years. Um, with a whole weekend of drummers from different walks of life, who maybe don't know your music or aren't familiar with you, but they come and see you, and they are just obviously blown away by your performance. What do you think your advice would be to those drummers that come and see you and then they walk away, they want to climb the ladder in the way that you've done it, they want to learn how to play like you? What would your advice be to the aspiring drummer of any age, any background?
I think just do whatever you can to. It sounds cheesy, but to like make to live that dream. Um, it's very difficult. I was extremely fortunate not only to have had the support from my parents, but have also to met the right people at the right time. Um, I met the guys in Haken when I was very young. I already knew Pete, our keyboard player, from the age of
Mm.
4. So um,
Wow.
I was just fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, and not everyone gets that opportunity. But if you just stay patient and keep grafting away at what it is that you love, then that opportunity will come. You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, then it won't happen.
But I also think, Ray, you as a drummer, you're so dedicated to your craft. Once again, having seen you live, I see the energy you put into your shows. I also know how much time you put in to mastering the craft of your instrument. What is your practice regime like?
It really depends on what I'm trying to work towards. I don't have like a daily practice routine. If I'm preparing for a tour or a recording session, then my routine is going to be determined by what those demands are. Um, and sometimes that can require 3 or 4 hours of playing every day, which
Mhm.
is quite sort of physically and mentally demanding. But when I'm not doing that, let's say I'm on tour, I'm not going to be practicing much. That can be quite a tricky thing, actually. I find when I'm on tour is, you practice and practice and prepare this set to perfection, um, and then you might be on tour for 2 3 weeks, and there's little niggling things that start to creep in, and it's finding a way to also adjust those, because you don't get the luxury of having like a practice kit or just a
Oh,
practice
yeah.
space in general when you're on tour. Sometimes your playing goes like that, and then it might go like that, and you have to kind of manage
Mhm.
that. It can be a case of stepping away from the kit and mentally practicing and sort of visualizing what you're doing. So it's really quite a variety of different things, and approaching things from different angles, trying to find like a multifaceted approach, I guess, to practice.
I was going to say, because I imagine when you're on the tour bus with the rest of your bands, Rich and Charlie, they can still play guitar while sitting on a fairly cramped bus, and they
I hate
can't.
them.
Oh,
No, I hate them.
but yeah,
They
for
sit
for
there
drummers,
practicing in silence. They're not disturbing anyone. They're just, they can practice to their heart's content. It's fine.
exactly, and obviously Ross can do his vocal warm ups wherever he needs to, and I
hmm
imagine Pete is able to practice at least on like a MIDI keyboard or
You
something.
know what? Pete's entire warm up routine, and I can confirm this because I've played quite a few shows with him now. His routine consists of slouching in a sofa and just sort of chatting away, and then he just walks on stage, and that's it.
But he's the
He gets
henchiest
away with it.
keyboard player in prog rock, so he can do what he wants.
Yeah, he's effortless. He's so effortless. He doesn't have to do anything, and he can just nail it.
um, Ray, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see your performance at the UK Drum Show, Sunday, 29th of September, 10 a.m. Tickets are available now. For those of you not familiar with Ray's work, go and just bulk listen to all of Haken's stuff right now, because you will be completely mesmerized. And Ray, it's a pleasure to have you on, and we will see you in September.
Thank you so much. I can't wait. It's going to be great.